Opening with the king's pawn controls the center and opens up the light-squared bishop and queen, often leading to sharp games. The Sicilian defense controls the d4 square with c-pawn. Knight f3 develops the knight toward the center to prepare for a d4 pawn push, where the knight will recapture if black captures on d4. d6 opens up the light-squared bishop and prevents white from pushing the pawn to e5 after black eventually plays knight f6. d4 offers to trade the d-pawn for the c-pawn, giving up a center pawn for more active pieces. C takes d4 gives black two central pawns versus one central pawn for white. Knight takes d4 recaptures the pawn and activates the knight in return for having one central pawn versus black's two central pawns. Knight f6 develops the knight toward the center and attacks the undefended e4 pawn. Knight c3 defends the e4 pawn and starts to develop on the queen side. a6 prepares the queenside pawn advance b7 b5, and also prevents white from playing the bishop or knight to b5. Bishop e3 supports the strong d4 knight in the center. e5 takes space in the center, attacks the knight on d4, and allows the dark squared bishop to develop to e7. This moves the knight to safety. The opening development is progressing well. White develops the bishop and attacks the center. Castling gets the king out of the center of the board, while also developing a rook. This is a fair move. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. Castling to the same side of the board is a more cautious approach. Black develops the knight and attacks the center. This is a book move, meaning it follows established opening theory, played by top players for years. This threatens to capture a bishop and win material after the follow-on trades. After all captures, this is an equal trade. Black's recapture simultaneously activates another piece. The knight now occupies a secure outpost. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. A solid recapture by white, bringing a new piece into play. This wins time by threatening a queen and forcing it to move away. This moves the queen to safety. This threatens to force doubling of pawns. A very strong play. With the rook now developed as well, Black has all pieces ready for action. This offers an equal trade of pieces. This is an equal trade. Recaptures. One of the best moves. White's piece has moved to a square with a greater activity and control. That's fine. A solid choice. A very strong play. One of the best moves. The piece finds a new active square. A solid choice. Black's piece has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This doubles the rooks on a file, which allows them to team up to create threats. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. A very strong play. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-on trades. This blocks the attack on a pawn that could have been captured. After all captures, this is an equal trade. Takes back. Very precise. This creates space for the king to move in case it is attacked. This creates luft for the king, providing it an escape square. This is the strongest option. Right on target. One of the best moves. This is a fair move. White's piece has moved to a square with a greater activity and control. A solid choice. This threatens to play checkmate. Advancing the pawns in front of the king can compromise the king's safety. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Takes back. That's fine. Very precise. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-on trades. This stops the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. White had an advantage, but now the game is close to equal. This misses an opportunity to move a rook to safety. Advancing the pawns in front of the king can compromise the king's safety. This is the strongest option. This threatens to eventually win a pawn. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. A very strong play. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. Recaptures. The game was close to equal, but now white has the advantage. This threatens to eventually win a pawn. This is not the right idea. This is an equal trade. Takes back. Only one move worked there, and this wasn't it. This threatens to force eventual checkmate. This protects an underdefended pawn that is under attack. That's an unfortunate error. This is the only move that works. Right on target. Very precise. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-on trades. This prevents the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. This makes a passed pawn. The pawn is now passed because it can no longer be challenged by pawns as it tries to promote. This is the only good move. This blocks black's pawn. This takes an open file, a common method for activating a rook. Now black can't stop white from winning a pawn if they make the right moves. This defends the attacked pawn. That was a free pawn. This overlooks a better way to defend a pawn that was under attack. This is the only move that works. This overlooks a better way to evade the check from the opposing queen. This missed an opportunity to punish a mistake. This misses a better way to evade the check from the opposing queen. This allows the opponent to activate the king by getting it off of the back rank. This threatens to tactically win a queen. This misses a much better move. The piece finds a new active square. This evades the check from the queen. This is the strongest option. This steps away from the checking queen. This defends the attacked pawn, putting the piece on a blockade square. Right on target. This evades the check from the queen. This is the only good move. Takes back. Recaptures. This blocks white's pawn. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders.